welcome to the broadcast. My name is Dr. Kesha, and listen, let's just go right into it. I just got to go ahead and check out all the videos and the archives. We do all things coaching. I am a soul coach, do all things commentary, hosting, motivational speaking, counseling, and all that jazz. So check me out at impactingmindsetsglobal.com. All the services that I provide, I'm here for you. So what I do is I try to take my niche experience and I apply it to pretty much social media commentary. You know what I mean? Culture commentary, because I think that it's important because the culture does impact our community. Entertainment does impact our community, and it does, impress the youth as well as the adults. It affects the culture, it affects society, it affects us all. So I really do feel like this conversation that we're having, centering around this particular couple, in particular, is a conversation that we should be having. I know that people are like, well, this is their business, this is their private life, but somehow or another, this has become public. Whether you want to say it's due to, all the shenanigans surrounding the trial, and that's again, for those of you all that have been keeping touch with what's been going on, you've been following those that have been doing, in my opinion, some true reporting of the trial, the case regarding Jonathan Majors and the Jabari lady. If anyone following that case closely and really doing your due diligence, such as reading the news articles rather than just reading the headlines, whether it's checking out Danny on X or on YouTube and her giving her information because she literally sat in the trial and took notes, and you know what I mean? Or if it's watching Kat's channel and she's literally like reading the transcripts, of all the witnesses and everything that was shared during the trial, the literal facts of the case, you know what I mean? And or like Dre Max or Chillmonger or what is it? I don't want to start naming names and I'm gonna overlook someone, but just all the folks that seem to be leaning more towards Jonathan Majors. Oh, shout out to Lauren. We appreciate you so much because you're a true journalist. But those that are leaning more towards Jonathan, but we're really supporting it with really facts or information that can be like proven in a sense, versus people that are just into sensationalism, you know what I'm saying? Into the spectacle. Like they're literally just giving you a headliner, which is misinformation, instead of you all taking the time to really read, the accounts or to do your due diligence. You have a tendency to just kind of follow whatever it is that, the mass media is just kind of sharing with you. And what we've learned throughout the generations is that, when I say what we learned, is that the news is not the same that it used to be. It is not news that can be trusted. Unfortunately, they have an agenda, and the person that it is the highest bidder, the one that's supporting the agenda, is the one that wins. And oftentimes, the losers are the general masses because we don't read closely anymore because we're into bait clicks. You know what I'm saying? That's what draws us. It's the headlines, it's the thumbnails and stuff like that. But when we get to the meat of the matter, we'll find that, unfortunately, that particular case in particular, I'm talking about Jonathan Majors and the trial, was a farce. He got a misdemeanor, essentially, which is or could be equated to be a traffic ticket, because they did not find him guilty on relevant things, or the things that they try to pin on him, like the choking. None of that happened. All the charges that initially was put on upon him was dropped, and then now they're having to prove something that they could not prove, and that's why the jury end up ruling the way that they did, or coming to that conclusion. Basically, it was recklessness because there was no malicious intent involved, because they didn't find any. And so, but unfortunately, the news is taking, the verdict, and they're kind of spinning it. I'm going to say they've been spinning this whole case even before it went to trial. I want to say at the initial reporting, they've been spinning this to be he's a monster, and that sort of thing, just ruining his career. And he's lost millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. I digress. Let's go into what we're going to talk about today, which is Meagan Good's, Meagan Good and Jonathan Majors' love, especially the love that they've gotten on the red carpet at the BET NAACP Awards. I want to highlight that because there's a lot of other negative chatter out there in the social media, on the social media streets. So I like to combat the negativity with some positivity. I know that there are people that feel like she's made a huge mistake and this and that. She shouldn't be with him because of these allegations or whatever they did here, because there was a lot of evidence that was shared during the trial and stuff that was leaked, whether it's the conversation that was recorded by Grace, unbeknownst to Jonathan in secret, or whether it was the video of him, running down the streets of Manhattan. Everybody's got their opinion. You know what I mean? And then there is the reality. And I feel like that there's something true right in between all of the nonsense. And then, of course, his interview with ABC and us hearing him for the first time because he did not sit on the stand and tell his truth during the trial. But it was good for him, and go check out that interview in the archives, of him just simply expressing his heart, you know what I mean, concerning this whole situation. And what's interesting is, again, up until this point, he was not problematic. Up until this point, we didn't hear any rumors of him being difficult and all these other things. So, we began to really think about, like, why now? Like, why is he difficult now? Why we have all these reportings now? Why is everybody coming out now? You know what I mean? It was suspect. That's not to say he's a perfect person, because I don't believe there is a perfect person on the earth. I really don't. I believe that he probably made plenty of mistakes in these relationships. He seemed to be very introverted as a person. So I think that he could be misjudged and misconstrued. His body language can often be misconstrued. But what the funny thing about it is, people thought it was cute and nuanced before all this drama, right? Came to the forefront. It was cute and nuanced because he is a handsome young man. And people may say, you're just saying that because he's popular. No, I really do believe that he's a handsome young man. It's funny because he reminds me of somebody that I once knew back in my earlier days that I went to prom with my junior year. He was a handsome young man. He just was not, as popular, and he didn't have the swag, and he was a nerd, but he was still handsome. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's that. I don't think that, whatever the thing is with him, I think that he does have a swagger to him, and he does have this nuance to him. He's different. And I think that you can spin that in any way that you want. But it's unfortunate. So let's take a look at these video clips that I'm about to share. I'm going to provide some commentary. Do I support the relationship? I don't support or nor not support it. You know what I mean? I'm just happy for her and I'm happy for him. I'm just happy that they're happy. I'm one of those people where it's like, these are grown-ups. Like, they can choose to be with who they want to be with. If there are red flags to be seen, by either or, they should see those red flags and they should govern themselves accordingly. But if both of them have come to the forefront, if both of them have been honest with each other and laid everything out on the table, and they still together, mind you, that they haven't just started being together yesterday. I think we're now coming into the knowledge of this relationship. I think they've been in a relationship for maybe a good over, I want to say, where we are with 2024. I want to say maybe a year or so, they've been in some type of relationship. So whether we think it's a PR, tactic, or whether we feel like it's whatever, it really truly doesn't matter what we think. I mean, I'm just being honest. It really truly doesn't matter what we think. But I will say this, that again, as long as everyone is happy, hey, I don't have a stake in the game. But I will say that I am liking them together. I do feel like they complement each other, and I feel like that they understand one another like we probably wouldn't understand, because they're both in the industry. Meagan has a long-standing relationship with, the public, being she was a young actor, a child actor, a phenomenal child actor. But, shout out to her on all the the parts that she's played, and again, to be able to sustain a career for this many years. I mean, she's in her 40s now. It is phenomenal. I mean, she's sustained a career for over 30 years, maybe close to 40 years. That's amazing. So kudos to her, and she's getting her shine. And again, I completely applaud her for standing by him, because if I was him, I would want someone to stand by me. You know what I mean? So sometimes we have to, even if I'm guilty, I still would want somebody to stand by me. I still would want, because I'm a human, and I think humans deserve some type of support. Whether it's like having a child. Your child may be wrong is wrong, which in this case with him regarding Grace, I don't believe that he was the individual that did the wrong in the situation. I'm talking about the allegations. I feel like she was the aggressor in the situation and they're trying to spin it. That's what I believe. I don't believe he was wrong. However, I do believe, just like he said in the ABC interview, that he played with her heart. That part I do agree with. I believe that if there was someone else that he was interested in, and sometimes it's hard to get out of relationships. Sometimes, like obviously it was a topsy-turvy relationship between him and Grace. Obviously it was very toxic. And I think he did try to get out of the relationship based on the testimonies and things that were shared during the trial. Like there was effort to try to get out, but sometimes it's hard to get out of those dynamics. And then, sometimes, especially he didn't even know that she was even recording him. But, sometimes you can share so much of yourself that you're afraid of coming out, especially if they're like, basically like trying to blackball you or try to, try to use the tactic of, what, I'm gonna tell everyone what you did, or, I know what you did last summer, kind of vibe. If they're threatening to like tear down your character or your career because they know you so well, so intimately, it even becomes even a little bit more harder if you're being blackmailed to stay in the relationship. So I don't know if that was that dynamic, but for whatever the reason, again, the power there, the power struggle there, obviously he having way more to lose than her in the situation, that power dynamic. I really feel like that, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, that him choosing her, to as a mate in the first place was just a really bad choice. Again, hindsight being 2020, but I think he knew that throughout the whole process, but he probably just didn't know how to get out of it. And then, like I said, sometimes you can experience each other, and this person can have so much stuff that can be incriminating, like just bad taste. It could be, the fact that he did threaten to unalive himself and things of that nature. That within itself is not something you would want the public to know. You know what I mean? So it's not even that, he did harm to her or whatever the case that she's alleging. It's just the simple fact that my dark secrets. Like we've had encounters that was just not kind. It's not cool. And if the public would come to the knowledge of that, would bring shame to me. It would potentially hurt my career, because perception is reality. And again, that's why they have PR firms in the first place, is they want to try to look good and to keep a reputable, good, pristine image. And so all that comes to is a part of his career and maintaining a good positive image and all that other stuff. So again, we can learn a lot of lessons, and maybe that's another video for another day. But let's go right into the clips that I want to share with you. You're here for that. You're here because we're going to react to the BET, the NAACP Awards, red carpet interviews. Are we ready? All right, let's go. We have the first one lined up for you. I really do like this guy. I forgot his name, and please forgive me, guys, if I don't have all the names of the interviewer, but this is fair use. I do want to use this clip. We're going to have conversations, just a 2-minute, 26-second clip. But we're going to have to pause, unfortunately, stop and talk if you don't mind, because again, I'm just providing commentary on this because we don't want this to be flagged. But you know what? Listen, this is being provided by ET Online. Shout out to ET Online. And again, this is fair use, fair use, fair use. So let's listen. We'll stop, pause, and we'll talk.
To be nominated, one, like my heart's so full just to be seen. And this is my second NAACP nomination. The first one I was 17, and I'll be 43 this year.
All right, so let's pause on that. Shout out to Meagan Good, first of all. When she said 17, I think I've looked at Dre's video. I think Chillmonger. I think people were trying to figure out what, I think it was Pam the Entertainment as well. I think people were trying to figure out exactly what movie that was. I think it was Eve Bayou. I think it was that movie. She did a phenomenal job, by the way, at 17. Though it was a creepy story, she really did her thing on that movie. So I definitely think the nomination, she probably should have won an award, because she really did a great job being 17. And that role that she played in that movie was it's a phenomenal. It definitely is a classic. It definitely is a classic. Go check it out. She was 17 years old. Like I said, been in the business for a minute. And so yeah, this is her second nomination. Wow. Again, she's still standing strong in the industry. Shout out to her.
Come on.
So just to feel seen and to feel loved on, and to be here with us, and then also for a character I love so much that is truly such a big part of me. So
That's what I say. Harlem is such a fun show, but it feels so authentic.
All right, so the guy's named Kevin Frazier. Shout out to him. I really do. I really do love the way he carried out this interview. And again, keeping it positive, keeping it light. Obviously they're on the red carpet. Everything. Again, they're really having a good time. And I think that, he's been through a lot. Like I think that we can only, to me, we shouldn't be kicking anybody while they're down. So the mere fact that they're being celebrated, and again, especially Meagan, like again, she doesn't have, I don't know, like what part she had to play, if any, but obviously she's going through this with him and she's making choice. But I think it's just good to it's just good to exhale. You know what I mean? It's just good to have a good time and just to focus on your accomplishments. So shout out to Kevin Frazier for just navigating through this interview, like keeping it light, keeping it positive, keeping it fun, giving her accolades, giving her, what I feel is just due. And Harlem, I did watch Harlem, a couple of episodes of Harlem, and I did like Harlem. Like, again, I think that, kudos to her. I don't know exactly what role she played creatively. I don't know if it was her project or whether she's executive producing on it or what have you, but kudos to her and the success that Harlem is having. You know what I'm saying? Again, to be able to sustain. I just watched a movie. What was it? Think Like a Man. What was it? I just watched a movie of her recently that she was in. I like the roles that she plays. She's a phenomenal actress. And so kudos to her, kudos to the longevity in the business. I am surprised. If you're not surprised, you probably are surprised. This is her second nomination since 17, and now she's about to be 43. Like, wow. I think that, sometimes I think that's interesting. But shout out to her for getting, again, like she said, just to be seen and getting the accolades from us. And you'll hear the theme of from us throughout the whole thing. Because we're talking about BET. We're talking about Black entertainment, right? And so yeah, so that's awesome to be, again, by your peers, right? Being celebrated, not judged in the trial by your peers, but to be celebrated by your peers.
Authentic to us.
yes,
How important is that you get to do a show where you can be us?
it's everything. Because, well, first of all, this is probably my favorite character that I've ever played thus far. And it is a show where it's, for Black women, and it's authentically everything of who we are, what we go through, what we experience. Everybody can see themselves in one of these characters. So to be able to play a character that's so quirky and offbeat and goofy and nerdy as me, but can still be sexy and still can be, an intellectual and still can be all these things, which we are, because we're not monolithic. So it's just, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do agree with the cast there on Harlem. Go check them out. I think you'll be able to find Harlem on oh my gosh, on Netflix. I think you'll be able to find some of the former or the past seasons. You'll be able to catch up, get up to speed. Yeah, I think it has really good writing. I did enjoy it when I saw the few episodes that I saw. And yeah, go check it out. But I do agree with the monolith thing. I think that sometimes, black and brown people, especially Black folks, can be kind of labeled to be like one way, ghetto, urban, again, sports. There's a lot of stereotypes that are connected and associated with Blackness. But here's the thing, like, just like many other people, we can be quirky, we can be nerdy, we can be aloof, we can be introverted, we can be extroverted. You know what I'm saying? We can be cool, we can be crazy. There's a whole lot of elements to us as a people. And I don't think that you should look at one Black person and just make conclusions and just assume that they're one way. Get to know them, right? We're all individuals. And so we're going to come in different ways and forms and fashion. So yes, it seems like the cast is like there's a balance there of different types types of personalities within the cast, which again will show you some of the representation of the different types of Black and how we show up in the world, whether it's career, professional, whether it's the irresponsible one, whether it's the one that's out there rowdy, whether it's the conservative one, whether it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's whatever, again, it's being displayed in the characters in Harlem. And so shout out to them.
Preach that. How good a time is this in your life? You're happy. You seem so happy.
I am happy. It's really crazy. I mean, so much is going on. These past 2 years have been a crazy.
Okay, I know some of y'all want to be like, Meagan, blink twice if you need help. Blink twice. But the sister here said out of her own mouth, she's not being coerced or anything. Jonathan is not right behind her with a knife right next to her trying to make her say something that she doesn't want to say. And again, she's had a very long tenure in the entertainment business, and I feel like that she has a reputation for being herself and being authentic. And I know there were people that made comments in regards to, like, we're going to go into the love thing in just a few moments, but they're going to, like Devon and how and why they didn't work. And I guess what was shared by Devon. And I don't think she spoke a whole lot about their relationship in terms of why, it didn't work or what have you. I don't think she did a whole lot of interviews. And I believe she was very intentional about that, because I think that they both still care about each other. And, again, it is what it is. Again, they were very public with their relationship, writing the book, co-writing the book together, the weight and all the other things that they've done together, and to get to a place where, obviously they just weren't on the same page ultimately with the direction that they wanted their relationship to go in. And that's why they end up calling it quits. But it really doesn't matter. It's more about what lessons that I've gleaned from that relationship and where I'm at right now. And based on what she shared about where she is right now, is that she is happy. You know what I'm saying? And you can see that, one thing that, and I shared this on my platform before, is one thing we cannot fake is happy. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that, we can't fake happy. It's either we're happy or we're not. You know what I mean? And so no matter how many times people try to say this is a PR move and because a reality can be PR move. It can be used for PR as well. Like authenticity can be used for a PR moment too. So just because something can be used as a PR moment doesn't mean that it's inauthentic. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that she has been authentic her whole entire career, and who she has chosen to date or share her time with. She has pretty much kept her relationship, private, her relationships in the past private, but she made a conscious choice to make her relationship public, or not to make it, or just it so happened to become public. And obviously by showing up on the red carpet with him, by showing up to this event with him, by attending, by being with him as they went to the trial and this and the third, was a conscious choice by her. And so I think that she's genuine in what she's saying. I believe that she feels the way she feels, and she's expressing and saying what she's saying, and she said what she said. And I said we should stand on that. So I think that the comment section need to calm down, relax. This is a grown woman and this is a grown man, and they're making a choice to be in a relationship together. And honestly, it really isn't any of our business. Now, I'm not saying that you can't care for her or whatever, but I will say is that it's hard to really judge. It should be hard to judge a matter when you're not given details, like you're not given enough information to really tell someone whether they should be in a relationship with someone or not. You can't discourage, or you should not discourage someone based on odds or based on allegations, or whether they should be with someone or not. Like, again, this is what we do. They are public figures. And because this is fair use, we're in a free society by which, in terms of our speech, we can say what we want to say, without whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is that calm down in the comment section, people. Like, these are grown-ups. If they're choosing to be with each other, they're choosing to be with each other. And if they feel a way about each other, they feel a way, regardless of what you feel or what you say or what you think. It doesn't really matter, because again, listen, if to me, it is a sign of immaturity if you allow the masses to dictate to you. Now, I'm not saying that there's not times when there's writing on the wall. where you should exit stage right because it is dangerous. Yes, there are moments where, yeah, the majority's like, girl, you run for your life. Like, this is like, yeah, there's probably moments like that exist. But I really feel like in this situation, being that there's nothing, usually when there's smoke, there's fire. Like, there was literally absolutely no smoke up until this point. And so now that we're seeing them together, oh, girl, run, run, run. Well, before y'all were trying to get at him, before y'all knew that he was with someone that was not black. You know what I mean? Y'all was commenting him on his photo shoots and all his pictures of how handsome he was. And I just can't get enough of him prior to that. And then when everything comes to the surface, oh, you shouldn't be with him. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Anywho, I digress. Let's continue listening. I'm trying not to go off on a tangent here, but this is shame on you all because y'all really are hypocrites. Low key.
2 years for me, but I'm happier than I've been in a long time, even with all the crazy. And yeah, and then God's just doing incredible things. And so trusting God on the journey. And I'm like, all right, Lord, what's next?
When I saw you and I hugged you, I could tell you were happy.
Good for you, Meagan. We see you happy, girl. We see you.
Yeah.
Jonathan, how you doing?
Good to be seen, man.
How cool is it to be here with Meagan tonight in the Image Awards? That's for us.
It's incredible. It feels great. I love everything she does, and I'm glad she's being acknowledged today, by us. So, amen.
What is it meant to have her there on your arm? Because she loves
You want me to cry?
I just love this for us. I do. Because here's the thing, again, especially when you're looking at the black male and that perspective, just that mindset of, we're being told a lot of times that, we need to support black males, and, black males get a lot of, the bad rap, in society because of the weight that they have to carry in terms of their family and the stereotypes. And when you're looking at the prisons and the jails and the stats with, when it comes to, homelessness, or when it comes to high school dropout rates and all this other stuff, it's like they get a bad rap. So just to see, again, him still standing despite of all the losses, you know what I mean? And he's still trying to turn his career around, but he's still yet smiling. And then he has someone that is in his life that seems to be genuinely supporting him during this time. To me, that shows a lot of strength, in her. And it also shows a lot of good character in her. And it also is softening him as well. You know what I mean? To see that there is someone that can love you through the pain, that can love you through your trial and your tribulations, your trials and your tribulations, that there's someone that, is willing to stand for you. And I just like the fact that it's someone that mirrors him. You know what I mean? Now, again, I'm not a person where, I'm anti this and anti that, because I'm not. I feel like that, our heart is not limited to the type of people that we fall for. We can fall for people that are many shades and many colors, many ethnicities and nationalities. Like, I really don't feel like that, there's limitations there. But what I am saying is that if he has in the past dated other type of women, and maybe this is the first strong relationship that he's had with someone like himself in terms of shade and color, I think that this is a good thing. I think this is a good look for not only him and her, but also for us, just to see that somebody is really going to have your back, and not only just have your back, but to support you in the rebuilding of your career. I mean, heck, that is somebody that you can fall for over and over and over again. If you can love me at my lowest, you know what I'm saying? For sure that you can be there when it's time for me to celebrate. And I'm sure that there's some OGs that are talking to him, that are, you know what I'm saying, that are mentoring him and letting him know, look, bro, you know what I'm saying? Don't you mess this up. This is a good woman. Like, she's standing by you. She's sticking beside you, which she doesn't even have to. Like, real talk, because she has just as much, if not a lot, to lose by just simply sticking beside you. And she's doing that, and they're both being authentic and genuine. We'll talk about the other stuff that's brewing right now. We'll talk about, what they've just reported recently, because now, his ex is coming out of the closet, child, and now she's trying to pursue some legal action. But I'm here for it. I feel like that there should be a countersuit. If you don't want to know what I'm talking about, Grace is now about to sue him in civil court, and the defamation, the character, which is crazy to me. Because if anyone lost anything, it would be him. Because one thing about defamation is you have to show and you have to prove that you've lost something. What have you lost? You've lost the dancing gig. Like what? This man has lost millions and millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Off of an allegation. Like this is way before the trial and way before the ruling. This brother has lost millions and millions of dollars. I really do hope he counter sues, and I don't care whether she has it or not. Sue back for the millions and just let it just be on stand on business. And if she can pay it back, great. If she can't, oh well. Like I wouldn't even be concerned about that, but I would definitely have a counter suit. But we're gonna talk about that in another video, in a separate video. But let's just continue to just enjoy the moment, right? You know, the love between these two.
Right? Nah, man. Love is beautiful. Support, um, accountability. All those things. Someone to talk to and chat with and get better with. And for. So God is good.
All right, all right. Let's go on to the next. Let's do this real quick. We're gonna just slip here. We're gonna do that. Blah, blah, blah. So listen, what do you think? Like, how do you feel about this? Do you believe them? Is it believable? You know, do you believe what they're saying here? Do you believe that they're in love? Do you believe that at this point? Because I think someone else was saying the same thing. Like, well, she didn't say it. Okay, well then we're gonna show in just a few moments just her side. Her sharing her thoughts and her feelings in regards to him and their relationships. Are you ready for that one? All right, let's go. Let me just make sure this is centered properly so that we all can see and enjoy. All right, let's go.
Y'all are so fine together. Talk to me about creating the outfits together. Like,
okay, let me go back a little bit because I do want to shout out to this interviewer. Is it friend Seska? Shout out to her. Like, I think she did an amazing job. Let me just take off this. I don't want to. She did an amazing job with this red carpet interview. I really do. I really do. Because again, this should be the moment where we focus on the positivity. We should be focusing on just being celebratory. Like we should be focusing on the wins right now. You know what I mean? She could have easily have, just got dirty and grimy and asked questions about the past or what he's currently having to deal with because we're still waiting on the judges, saying his ruling. She could focus on that, but she's being very intentional about the types of questions that she's asking. So I really do appreciate the questions that she's about to ask in just a few moments that we're going to witness, and I really do appreciate all the positivity that's going to come forth. Again, I love this for us, the love that is being exuded between these two.
outfits together. Like, do you say, honey, I like this? You look good. Who picks out what?
You gonna?
Well, hers are a bit more elaborate,
Yeah, I see.
and so we base it off of that, and I go, okay, which one? How that work? Any accessories?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That happened this morning. That happened a few hours ago.
Really?
Okay, so for all the haters, I mean, for all the haters out there, right, that are just putting him and his fashions down. All right, I'm glad that and Megan is going to further explain that these are custom designs and custom pieces, and again, for the people in the back, for those that cannot afford these custom type wares, I think that number one, the mere fact that that can get, that can be provided, I'm loving that for us. You know what I'm saying? But I really do feel like that a lot of us have our thoughts and opinions in regards to, again, his wear, and again, I think it just really stems to people just hating right now. I really do feel like that prior to all of the allegations, we weren't really thinking like, I mean, I'm sure that somebody thought that, he dressed a certain type of way. Maybe they weren't necessarily feeling it, but he didn't have all the negativity that he's having now. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying overall, until these allegations surfaced, until people found out who he was dating, until all this other stuff. So I just feel like make it make sense. Like either you're going to make mention of that, like way, 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 years and years and years ago when he first came on the scene, and then you're going to, whatever. Don't try to, again, we, I don't know. Like I said, to me, it just really, it's giving, selective outrage. Like it's really giving I don't like him right now because most people don't like him right now because of what I heard. So I'm just going to trash on him. Like, get out of here. To me, his aesthetic, his look, it is his style. And if that's what he's into, then that's what he's into. Like, we got to learn to respect people. I mean, listen, I'm of a certain age. I'm older than Megan. I'm way older than him. I've seen many entertainers dress in different types of ways, like from Lisa Bonet and all these different people that had like a different vibe. Lenny Kravitz, and there's people that are known for their looks and their aesthetics and all these different things, and Michael Jackson or Prince or whatever, and we don't trash on them. Like, they're celebrated. So I don't really get. I kind of like his look myself. I don't really have an issue with the way that he dresses. And so he then shares his process, which is he goes to his lady and he asks her, hey, based on what you're wearing, what do you want me to wear? You know what I'm saying? So he is consulting with her. He's also consulting with someone who is designing his clothes specifically for him, because again, his body is amazing. Let's be real. Let's just be real. Like, his body is amazing. So he has custom piece, obviously, for a reason. I'm sure he just can't go out and buy something that's going to look well on his, based on his build. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe they're probably really, he might be able to wear an oversized shirt or something like that. But when you're talking about red carpet looks, when you're talking about, being seen in different, engagements and different things where he's going to have to step it up when it comes to the fashions, then yes, you should go to the side of the closet that's more custom, right? And so she helped him out. She selected what he should wear. And I believe, and that's, to me, another, it just shows a really, the positive aspects of having a partner, of having someone in your corner that has your back, that's going to look out for you. And again, if she say, hey, babe, this looks good on you, this is who he's trying to appease. This is who he's trying to please. It's his woman. So who cares what I could care less what millions of people have to say about my look and my wear. If my man is like, babe, I'm loving this. Like, I could care less what everybody else has to say. I mean, real talk. So talk on, again, continue to make his name, relevant. But to me, y'all just doing the absolute most, even down to his shoe size or whatever like that. I think it's just the way those shoes are designed. But again, these are people that can't even afford the laces, let alone the shoe. So I really do feel like that people just need to pause and chill with all the negative, whatever. It's just giving a whole lot of, jealousy, the mere fact that he's with someone at the caliber of Meagan. I think that she's a beautiful young woman. She's a beautiful woman. She's always been. And I feel like that, yes, she's probably someone's dream girl, and the mere fact that he's pulling her, I think is rattling a couple of feathers, you know what I'm saying? And the mere fact that other women may have not been chosen is rattling some other people's feathers, but nevertheless, they're here and I'm here for it. I'm loving this for us. Definitely pushing the positive narrative because it needs to be pushed. And he's not looking awkward.
Yeah.
Is he a good fashionista?
He is. I love his style. I just love like the way he puts it together, and I also love like all of this stuff is custom built, literally for him. Like, it has his name inside of it from the person who built it, and so I'm just like,
again, she's giving the tea here. Number one, she's saying I love his style, and that, to me, that's all that matters. As long as my boo loves my style, who cares what everyone else is saying? He's dressing to appeal to her. You know what I'm saying? To look good and to match her swag. That's what he's doing. All right. So she's giving him the green light on what it is that he's choosing to wear. And she's helping to accessorize him and all that good stuff, as a good woman should. And she's, like I said, she's giving the tea to the point where he's like, y'all, you like, ooh, you cheering a lot.
yeah. I'm sorry, baby. That's all it.
Listen, I know you guys got to get inside, but I have to ask you about this. NAACP, not one, but 2 nominations, baby. So proud of you. 3, shoot. Look at the boyfriend coming up to me saying, hold on. Know your facts. 3 nominations for you. Congratulations. I'm a huge fan of you. And also,
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that she clarified that she received 3 nominations. I'm gonna have to look into specifically what those nominations were. But shout out to Meagan. It should be seen, sis. You've been in the business for how long? Like, come on, decades. Like, listen, you deserve all the accolades and the kudos because you worked hard to be in the business and to sustain in the business that will literally eat you up and spit you out. Like, Kudos to you. 3 nominations. Good. And then he made it look. No, she didn't get 2. She got 3. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Somebody that understands, somebody that's supporting me, somebody that's loving me for me. That's what I'm. This is what it's giving to me, and and I'm loving this. Really, I'm loving this.
Harlem as well, going on its 3rd season.
Yeah.
How does that feel to know that you are lauded and applauded by your own?
It feels good. It feels, for a character that I think is my favorite character that I've played thus far, someone who's very true to my heart on a show with 4 other Black women, when we're showing the Black female experience from such an authentic place. Everybody can look at this show and say, I relate with one of these characters or some version of it.
I think we heard that before, some of her take on the character, and I just think that that's awesome.
Everything about it is a blessing, but to be seen at the NAACP Awards, to be seen,
Thank you.
Means
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'm thankful, and just God is good. It's an interesting time, and to feel the love,
Did y'all see the dude?
Is it for you to support?
Wait, hold on. I love it that as she was saying, just to be seen by us, and then this guy with the white jacket like walked by him, and let me see if I can find it. Like, it was so. Hold on. If I can find it. There he is. You see that? He taps him like, hey man, I don't even know who he is, but he tapped him real quick. That was funny.
To feel the love, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, how important is it for you to support her in this way tonight?
Incredibly. I mean, I could say less. She holds me down. I hold her down. We're celebrating tonight.
Yeah.
All 3.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's
Like a
great.
little eyeball. He's like, yeah, don't say too much. And my final question, because I know we're wrapping up. How are you all feeling? How are you doing?
Okay, so brace yourself. Again, he's supportive. He's expressing his support. He's showing his support. You don't see jealousy. You don't see that. We are feelers. You know what I'm saying? Black and brown folks, we're feelers. We're feeling type of people. We can, when it comes to vibes, okay, vibrations, okay, we can sense and feel a lot. We're feeling people. So if there was any kind of inkling of jealousy, like, oh, I'm not a part of anything right now. I don't even barely have a job, and she's being lifted up, and I can't take it. I can't handle it. I think we would have been able to feel that by now. You know what I'm saying? All throughout this interview, we would have been able to see it in his eyes or in his body language. I'm sure there's going to be some body language experts that's coming out and say, is he really being truthful? Is he being honest? Does he really support her? Does he really? Because y'all be doing the most. I mean, the man is supporting her. He is holding her down just like she is holding him down. And that's what people do in good relationships. And it seems as if they're having a good relationship. And sometimes other situations may not necessarily be, I want to say the I guess predicting factor of what your next is going to be. Sometimes it is the person that you're with. Sometimes it's just not a good combination. Sometimes their demons, fight with your demons, or pull out the worst. The person may be pulling out the worst in you. It could be all kinds of reasons as to why the previous relationship didn't work, and some of that came out in the trial. The mere fact that she was struggling with some addiction issues. She was drunk a lot. She went out partying, and just again, she just wasn't as grounded as this one is. You know what I mean? In terms of a companion. She seemed to be all over the place. And again, these are friends saying that. This is during the testimonies during trial. Like, we don't know the individual that he dated. She's from Europe. She's not in the limelight. She's a dancer. She does choreography. We don't really know her like that. He's the one that's in the limelight. But based upon the information that was shared during the trial, she seemed to be wrestling with addiction. She seems to be drunk most of the time. And that's why he talked about character issues and flaws and stuff, and wanting her to rise up to the occasion and be the type of person that he needs in his life. And so, yeah. All right. So let's continue to listen and let's bring this to a close.
In love.
Let's go back, because I think some other people was like, well, he, He said it, but she didn't say it. Okay, well, she asked the question. Now she's gonna respond.
In love.
Let's go back to the question again, maybe just in case y'all didn't hear it, just for those that are in the back. Let's go to the question one more time.
In love.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't go back to that question. Let's go back to that question.
You do it.
I'm sorry, I think we didn't hear all the question. Let's try to hear all the question. Let's see, did we get everything? I'm messing with y'all, but let's do it again.
About feeling, how are you doing?
In love.
Yeah,
That's my answer.
Yeah, you got it.
In love, she said. Second, she better take it to the rooftop.
Right. And again, going back to what he had said in the first clip, again, people are like, well, she didn't say it. He's the one saying it. He's putting out there. She looked at him like, you should have said that. That wasn't the case, obviously. He said what he felt, what was in his heart to say. And now she's like co-signing. Okay. She's co-signing. I feel that way too. Right. I feel that way too.
Listen.
Is he the one? Is he the one?
Yeah.
Is he the one? What was her response? Yeah. And then him.
Sorry, baby. We both get nervous. You see us over here like, okay.
But you know,
Right. And so she's kind of, again, explaining some of the energy between them. They are nervous to come out and to say that for the first time. Of course, everybody's got their microphones. Everybody's checking for them to try to see what's going on. They're trying to, determine if this is real or not. Everybody's in their business. So yeah, they're nervous, especially if, again, she's a private person. She's been in the industry for quite some time. We don't know everybody she's dated. I mean, I think I've seen some clips where people try to go back in her past and to try to, do some sleuthing and trying to determine who she dated in the past or whatever like that. And he's very private. He's not even on social media. So again, all this stuff coming to the light for the first time on, when it comes to him, when again, he never really dated out loud like that. And even her, like when she decided to be with Devon and, then they came together or whatever like that. So, but I'm happy for them. I'm loving this for us.
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. When you feel it, there's nothing anyone in the world can say or do to take that it feeling away from you.
Good for them. You know what I mean? I'm really happy for them. And listen, I 1000% agree that whatever you're feeling for someone, it doesn't matter like what everyone else thinks or feels because you're in that relationship. And I'm not saying that, if you're in a relationship and it's bad and they're confirming what then that's to me is different. When and there are times when you're in relationships and there are red flags and you're totally missing them. But I believe that they have a circle around them. We saw how strong, his family unit is with his mom and also her mom being present during the trial and how, their family is supporting them and the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So they have people in their life that's going to hold them accountable. And Jonathan has mentioned many times over during these interviews that he likes the fact that she's in his life and that she does hold him accountable. And I'm sure he has other people and he's continuing to go to therapy and all these things because these things are coming out to the forefront. See, now these things are coming out to the forefront and we're hearing these things for the first time. But again, they're rehashing what was. They're rehashing the past, what they've previously experienced. She was already privy to this information before we were privy to it because I'm sure he shared it with her because he knew that all these things would come out because again, all this stuff was shared with, the attorneys have to share what they're going to put out in during a trial. And of course, he's got to share his, to counteract what is being shared in terms of his truth. He has to share with his attorney. And I'm sure if he's trying to build, and during that time, he's trying to build a relationship with Meagan, he allowed her to be in on it so that she can know too, so that she can brace herself for the things that she's going to hear. And so I don't feel like it's new information for her when it was new information for us. I feel like that she was already in the know, that she was clear on, what was going on because he shared it with her. And despite of all of that, they're still together. Now people may say it's a PR thing, it's a PR thing. I beg to differ. I don't agree with that. I think that this is authentic and this is real. And again, I'm here for it. I'm happy for them and I'm happy for us. So kudos to Meagan. Shout out to her for those nominations. It is good to be seen. It is a blessing because there's so many people. I just heard, what was it? In an interview for, I think it was highlighted on, what was it, on TGIF with regards to, I think, who was it that complained that she wasn't even invited? Amanda Seals, opening up how like she's not even recognized or invited into Black spaces. So the mere fact that you're not only, invited to these Black spaces, but you're being even recognized in these Black spaces, you should that to me is worth celebrating. You know what I mean? And it is a shame that Amanda Seals is not invited to those spaces because she's done a lot for the culture. And I know that, again, it is about relationships in the industry, just like with the Moniques of this world and that sort of thing. It is about relationships in the industry, and people do have their picks and their favorites. That's a part of it too. And aside from a talent, aside from accomplishments, aside from gifts, aside from, sacrifice, again, it's this field that, the entertainment business is about relationships. It's establishing relationships, and how you make someone feel and how you're treated. All that stuff you have to take into consideration when you're trying to build a career in the industry. So Meagan has a good rapport in the entertainment industry. She's been in it for so long, and she's been able to navigate through it. And so there's a lot of information that she can provide in terms of wisdom to Jonathan on how to navigate through the industry. And you know what? He sees her as a friend. He sees her as an equal. He sees her as someone that could help him, that could give him game so that he could sustain, just like she's been able to sustain during all these years. So I think this is a good look for them. Number one, she's a little older than him. She's a lot more mature than him. Somebody talked about babies. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. I don't think she necessarily wants children. And I think if she does, it's probably, she's now in her 40s. Like, I honestly don't believe, this is me, based upon, I followed them. I purchased their, I supported them, like her and Devon when they were together. And I believe I did a talk on, I think I did a live or something on Meagan and Devon and why I believe their relationship, came to an end. I really do believe that it was about having children. I think Devon was much older than Meagan, a little older than Meagan. I think Devon is like my age. And so he was ready to really settle down and have a family. She wasn't ready because she felt like her career, that what she really like, and with the Harlem character, I think that in that particular show, I think that was starting to take off during that time. So they just weren't on the same page with her wanting to settle. She's in love with her career. Her career is her baby. Okay, so I just think they were mismatched from the beginning, despite of the love and the attraction and all that other stuff. So no, I don't believe that she wants to. I don't know why we have to always put baby in relationships for all people. I think he has a child, and I think maybe she may or may not even want one per se, and he may be on the same page with that. And to me, that's what matters the most. Couples being on the same page with whatever their core values are, whether it's children or where you see yourself in the future, be on the same page. And whether she wants one or not, he has what he has in terms of, he does have a namesake, he does have a child. So that may be sufficient for him. Maybe he's not looking to have any more. Maybe he's not looking to extend the family, and that's okay too. But as long as they're on the same page with that's all that should matter. So coming together and thinking about a family at this stage of the game, I mean, like I said, he's still, in his 30s or whatever. She's in her early 40s. That may or may not happen, but again, we'll have to see. But to me, that's not something that is at the forefront of my mind. I just feel like this couple in particular have a lot that they need to work through. There's still some music that they have to face, and so let us continue to keep them lifted up in prayer. Because again, at the end of the day, let's say peradventure that he was guilty of everything. Number one, if he was, we would have known by now. At this stage of the game, it's still at the level of allegations. Nothing really truly has been proven. If you've really been listening intently and watching closely and really following along, nothing has been proven. Everything has been, even to this date, allegations. It's her word against his word. Nothing has been proven. Even throughout all the trials or the days of trials, nothing has been proven. They still haven't proven how that girl got them injuries. I'm gonna be honest, they haven't. And trust me, if he was guilty and that they would have had the the tool, that was the method and by which all this, trust me, they would have put it out by now. But they don't. They don't have anything that's incriminating that can really hold him to task. Nothing. Nothing. And if they could find it, they would have already put it forth by now. And we would be having a different conversation. But that's not the case. So that, again, we have to think critically. And that's it. And just, again, look at what's been presented and then make a conscious, judgment. You know what I mean? Make a right judgment based upon the information that's been presented. We don't know. We weren't there. But based on what has been presented, the man is innocent, to be honest. The only thing he's guilty of is maybe cheating. You know what I mean? Or not being completely honest with her in terms of what he wanted with this relationship at the time. I think that he just wasn't honest and he didn't want it, no matter how hard she was trying to kind of make him stay in the relationship. I think he wanted to get out. And I just think that he just didn't have the courage to do it. So if anything, he's guilty of that. But what do you say? Feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like this video. Come on, let's comment, share. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. We could use you. You know what I mean? We could use your subscription to the channel. It'll help us out tremendously. So again, God bless to all. Let's see what's going to happen. Well, I'm going to do also reporting on the current situation that's brewing regarding the defamation. Oh my Lord, we're going to talk about that soon. All right. So talk to y'all next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.